Miguel Santos begins to suspect something is deeply wrong with his world. A riot flashes on the news, then vanishes. His girlfriend forgets it. Coworkers deny conversations. Only a child's drawing and haunting photos on his phone confirm he's not losing his mind. As his chip begins to fail, Migs sees a society marching in perfect sync and begins to remember what everyone else has forgotten. Now, with reality unraveling, he's faced with a dangerous choice: keep pretending, or finally reach for the truth. This is the Night of Silence, where we explore what it means to live in a world where your memories are not your own, and where rebellion begins with remembering. I'm your guest narrator, Kate Clover.
Before we get on with the story, I want to tell you about our sponsor, the techno-thriller Demon Protocol. This book is from author J.L. Spears, the same author that wrote this series. This story asks, what would happen if an advanced AI really wanted to take over the world? It wouldn't use killer robots and nuclear weapons. It would work in shadows, keeping its actions secret. And anyone who figured it out, like its creator Daniel Bennett, would sound like a conspiracy nut to anyone he asked to help him. Demon Protocol is out on audiobook, ebook, paperback, and hardcover. A link and discount code are available in the description below. If you like these stories, please subscribe to this channel, drop a comment, or like this video. Now, on to the next installment of The Night of Silence. Episode 4, The Diagnosis. The need for answers drove Migs from his bed at 2 a.m. He'd been lying awake for hours, mind racing through possibilities, each more disturbing than the last. His chip had malfunctioned, but what did it mean? What was it normally doing that it had stopped? He couldn't go to a neuronics medical facility. They'd fix him, make him forget why he'd wanted answers. But he had access to diagnostic tools at work, tools he'd helped design, back when he'd believed he was improving lives. The night streets were nearly empty, just delivery drones and the occasional late-shift worker. Migs kept to the shadows out of habit, though he wasn't technically doing anything wrong. Returning to the office at odd hours wasn't forbidden. Dedicated employees often pulled all-nighters. But dedicated employees didn't use their access to hack into restricted systems. Neuronics towers stood against the night sky like an accusation. Migs badged in, nodding to the night security guard who barely looked up from his screen. The elevator ride to 47 felt longer in the building's after-hours quiet. Emergency lighting cast strange shadows down familiar hallways. His workstation booted up with its usual chime. For a moment, Migs hesitated. Once he did this, there'd be no pretending he didn't know. No comfortable ignorance to retreat into. He began typing. The diagnostic interface wasn't meant for end users. It required command line access, knowledge of system architecture, and a blatant disregard for terms of service. Migs had all three. His fingers flew across the keyboard, muscle memory carrying him through security protocols he'd helped implement. Error, restricted access. He tried another approach, exploiting a back door he discovered months ago but never reported. The system hesitated, then granted access. Neuronics Diagnostic Suite version 3.7.2. Employee ID MS-4471. Warning: unauthorized access logged. Let them log it. By the time anyone checked, he'd have his answers. Or he'd be beyond caring. The diagnostic began its work, probing the chip's connection to his neural tissue. Data scrolled past in green text on a black background. Heart rate, neural firing patterns, neurotransmitter levels. The intimate machinery of consciousness reduced to numbers. Then, the results appeared, and Migs forgot how to breathe. Chip status, critical failure. Memory suppression, offline. Reward system manipulation, offline. Behavioral modification, offline. Neural integration, 12%, declining. He read it again, then a third time. memory suppression, reward system manipulation, behavioral modification, not enhancements, not optimization, control. With trembling hands, he dove deeper into the diagnostic data. Each revelation was worse than the last. The memory suppression algorithm was elegant in its cruelty. It didn't erase memories directly. That would be too obvious, too jarring. Instead, it prevented certain experiences from transferring to long-term storage. You lived through events normally, reacted appropriately, then woke the next day with no record of what the chip had marked for deletion. The selection criteria made his stomach turn. Protests, dissent, questions about working conditions, doubts about the system. Any strong emotion that might lead to social disruption. All quietly filtered out during sleep, leaving only the memories that reinforced compliance. But it was the reward system manipulation that truly horrified him. Every time someone volunteered for overtime, the chip triggered a small dopamine release. Every sacrifice for the company, every choice of work over personal life, every moment of self-denial, all rewarded with a hit of artificial satisfaction. Pavlov would have wept with envy. The behavioral modification was subtler still. Not direct control, but nudges. Tiny adjustments to decision-making processes, making certain choices feel more natural, more obvious. The kind of influence that left you convinced your decisions were entirely your own. Migs downloaded everything to an encrypted drive, hands shaking as he worked. This wasn't a malfunction in his chip. The chip was functioning exactly as designed. It was the failure to suppress, manipulate, and modify that neuronics considered a malfunction. A sound in the hallway made him freeze. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Security doing rounds or something more targeted. He killed the diagnostic, wiped the access logs as best he could, and shut down his workstation. The footsteps paused outside the department door. Migs held his breath, ready to attempt an excuse about urgent debugging. The footsteps moved on. He waited another 10 minutes before leaving, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. In the stairwell, his phone buzzed. Unknown number. Stop digging or disappear. This is your only warning. Migs deleted the message and kept descending. Whoever sent it was too late. He'd already seen too much to stop now. Outside, dawn was breaking over the city. Early commuters emerged from residential blocks, faces set in expressions of mourning determination. Did they know their contentment was chemically induced? Did they care? Or was ignorance genuinely bliss when the alternative was this gnawing horror? He walked home through awakening streets, the encrypted drive burning in his pocket like a coal. Every person he passed was a victim. Every smile potentially programmed. Every choice possibly an illusion. At his apartment, he made coffee with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. Then he sat at his kitchen table and reviewed the data again, forcing himself to absorb each terrible detail. The chip had been active in his brain for decades. How many memories had it stolen? How many authentic emotions had it overwritten with corporate-approved substitutes? Who had he been before the optimization? Who was anyone? His phone rang. Bella. Hey, he answered, trying to sound normal. Migs? You sound strange. Are you okay? Just tired. Couldn't sleep. Maybe you should call in sick. Take a mental health day. The suggestion surprised him. Bella never advocated missing work. Maybe I should. Actually, her voice changed, becoming brighter, more aggressive. No, that's silly. You should come in, push through. Productivity is prosperity, right? There it was, the chip's influence reasserting itself, overriding her moment of genuine concern. Migs closed his eyes, feeling sick. Right, he agreed. I'll see you tonight. Of course. I'll be done by midnight. The extra surgeries are really piling up, but it feels so good to contribute. After she hung up, Migs stared at his phone. How many of their conversations had been real? When she said she loved him, was that her or her chip's reward system responding to socially approved pair bonding? He couldn't think about that. Not yet. One existential crisis at a time. Instead, he focused on the immediate problem. His chip was failing. According to the diagnostic, neural integration was at 12% and falling. Neuronics could fix it, but now Migs understood what that meant. Reinstalling the chains, returning to comfortable slavery. But what was the alternative? Those without functioning chips wouldn't be able to exist in society. They would become unpersons, erased from the system that required compliance to function. A knock at his door interrupted his spiraling thoughts. Migs checked the peephole, saw only empty hallway. But when he opened the door, a small envelope lay on the mat. Inside, a single sheet of paper. You are not alone. Others have awakened. If you want truth instead of comfort, follow the path. E. E for Elena, the artist from last night. Below her message was a simple map marking several locations across the city. At each marked spot, she'd drawn a small eye with a tear. Migs understood. Her murals weren't random vandalism. They were breadcrumbs for those whose chips had failed. A secret network hidden in plain sight, visible only to those who lost the ability to forget. He showered, dressed, and prepared for work, all while planning his real day. He'd follow Elena's map, find these hidden messages. Maybe find others like himself, people stumbling through a world that suddenly made terrible sense. The morning commute felt different armed with knowledge. He saw the careful spacing between passengers not as courtesy, but as conditioning. The synchronized phone checking not as coincidence, but programming. The whole elaborate dance of city life revealed as a performance no one knew they were giving. At Neuronics Tower, he badged in normally, went to his desk, opened his development environment. To anyone watching, he was just another engineer starting another day, but his real work would happen in the spaces between surveillance. Migs! Sarah's voice made him flinch. She stood by his cubicle, tablet in hand, professional smile firmly in place. Feeling better today? Much better. Good, because I have exciting news. Mr. Wei was so impressed by your dedication that he's fast-tracked you for the optimization procedure. You're scheduled for tomorrow morning. The words hit like physical blows. Tomorrow. I know, right? Usually there's a months-long wait, but Mr. Wei pulled strings, said you were too valuable to leave unoptimized. Her smile never wavered, but something flickered behind her eyes. Isn't that wonderful? Wonderful, Migs repeated. The procedure is at 7 a.m. Don't eat anything after midnight. Oh, and Migs, she leaned closer. This is mandatory, for your own well-being. She walked away before he could respond. Around him, his colleagues continued their work, oblivious to the trap closing around him. Or perhaps aware but unable to care, their chips ensuring they felt only mild interest in his fate. Migs stared at his screen, cursor blinking on uncommitted code. Less than 24 hours before they fixed him. Before they stole his malfunction and returned him to blissful servitude. Unless he disappeared first. He pulled up Elena's map on his phone, memorizing the locations. Whatever network she was part of, whatever truth she was offering, he needed to find it today. Because tomorrow, the Migs who cared about truth would cease to exist. In his place would be someone who volunteered for overtime with genuine enthusiasm and never wondered why his memories had gaps. The burn behind his ear throbbed, as if his dying chip sensed its replacement approaching. Migs touched the spot gently. This malfunction, this failure, this breakdown of control, it might be the only authentic thing about him. And he'd be damned if he'd let them fix it. Standing abruptly, he grabbed his jacket. Going to lunch, he announced to no one in particular. It's 9:30, AJ pointed out. Early lunch. He left before anyone could object. before the weight of social pressure could pin him to his desk. In the elevator, his reflection looked back from polished steel, a man on the edge of a choice that wasn't really a choice at all. 24 hours to find another option. 24 hours to discover if there was life outside the chip's influence. 24 hours to decide if broken was better than fixed. The elevator doors opened on the lobby, and Migs stepped out into his last day as himself. Whatever happened next, whoever he became, at least the choice would be his, even if it was the last real choice he ever made. What did you think of this episode? Drop a comment down below. I'm your guest narrator, Kate Clover, and you're watching episode 4 of The Night of Silence on Code and Consciousness. In our next episode, the city's perfection is starting to slip. Behind every glitch, every whisper, lies a deeper flaw. And those who've stopped pretending begin to see the system for what it really is. Don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe to get alerts when the next video is available.